Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. On this year's strategy game, and we are returning to Let's Play War in the West. It is June 1944, and we have successfully landed in Picardy. And actually, this time around, just this turn, we did defeat a couple of German divisions, including Panzer divisions, in a little pocket here off the coast of Picardy. We've now encircled a further division, the 12th SS Panzer, and the 5th Fallschirmjäger division. So hopefully we can contain these guys. I'm thinking that the Germans will try to break out. I'm hoping that we can prevent them from doing that, but this is a huge success. We have definitely weakened their entire front line by just removing a couple of divisions already, and I'm very eager to see what is going to happen. A little bit further down to the south, we have started to see a German front line being re-established in southern France over here, so hopefully we'll be able to break through these guys, and hopefully these guys are not going to break through our lines, because our lines are looking a little bit flimsy. We've encircled the 1st SS Panzer Division over here. Hopefully that is going to be enough. I'm kind of doubting that whether it will be. The 6th South African Armored Division over here is looking kind of weak, and I'm not sure whether or not we'll be able to get these guys. Nevertheless, we have pinned them against the Swiss border over here across Lake Geneva, so hopefully we'll contain these guys as well. Hopefully we'll not be broken. Our lines will not be broken around Lyon over here. They might very well be. On the other hand, we've got a lot of reinforcements streaming up through the Rhone Valley over here, so hopefully that is going to be enough. And up over here, all the way in Italy. And we've done a small encirclement, slightly smaller here. Pretty much 1 1/3, 1.3 infantry divisions that we've encircled here. Most important, I think, is the couple of Stukes and Marders, but 300 infantry, that is significant. We've also captured the port of Trieste, so I think things are going well for us. We have indeed, for the first time, hit the German border right over here. We don't really have forces there yet, but at least we have, you know, we are close to the German border, although admittedly in the area that is probably the least important in Germany. Right. There's one thing I want to point out before we go into the German turn, and that is, let's just look at the east-west rail traffic that the Germans have. So, just the way that France is set up, it's a very centralistic state, and pretty much most of the traffic runs through Paris. And we can see that if we do look at the east-west railings that are still in existence on the German line, you can see we've cut these on the German on the coast of course. So that's fine. So if we look at Paris, that is of course a major east-west link. But if we get Paris and this little point down here, then you can see they don't really have that many east-west rail links left. Basically, if we capture only 4 hexes on this map, namely this one down here, this one over here, or even that one, this one close to Paris, and Paris itself, that would cut all of the rail traffic running into France over here. And the Germans still have a very significant number of forces down here, including pretty much everyone down here. So that is kind of tempting. I mean, it's still a bit out of reach, but we don't know. Maybe we're going to be able to take that. So, without further ado, let's hand it over to the Germans. In between episodes, I just moved up the tanks of the 3rd US Army into Picardy, so these guys should now also be over there and sort of enable us to snowball a little bit and be ready next turn to send in even more armoured reserves and even faster armoured pushes. Now, there is a risk in that we are overburdening our supply situation, but I'm kind of optimistic that that is going to be quite viable. So let's see what the Germans are going to do for the ground phase. They're definitely going to try to break out of that pocket, but I'm not sure they'll be successful over there, so let's see. I don't know yet. Right, here we go. They are attacking with the 12th SS Panzer, to be expected, but we are holding nicely and easily. This down here is a little bit more complicated, I think, but I have... Yeah, look at that. So even the 1st SS Panzer here is not able to break through. They're inflicting significant casualties on us, but we are holding out, and that is what is counting over here. They're going to do further attacks, I'm sure. Nevertheless, we are holding out here again. Another attack by these Fallschirmjägers, supported by various other things, including some Luftflotte. No. Okay, yeah, and the Poles and Czechs and Dutch that we have sent over here are holding, and that is very nice to see. Are we holding? Ooh, what's going on over here? 0-0? I don't exactly know what that means, but we are holding, and that's the important bit. Another attack over here, so the Germans are really starting to push very strongly against here, but these are only security regiments, so these are I mean, they're desperate. Let's put it this way. Not really strong, but desperate. Right, down here, another division that we encircled. Yeah, they are doing some casualties here. But overall, I mean, their supply situation is so horrendous. Just due to the fact... Ooh, look at that. The Germans have withdrawn a little bit over here. Just due to the fact that we very strongly did pound their industry and their oil industry in particular. It looks like the area around Lyon is safe. I was a little bit afraid that they would try to push into there. We could have recovered from that, but it would have been an annoyance. So, yeah, I think this is okay-ish. Let's see what the German lines are going to do. Yeah, they're going to re-establish in contact over here. We do need to push out a little bit from here. But I think strategically we begin to notice that the Italian theatre for now is starting to look a little bit like we're not making as much progress here as we are maybe making on the other fronts. And that is largely due to the terrain. And pretty much the impassable Alps and our inability to form a defensive line that is going to extend from there outwards. So, yeah, to be expected. So, probably at some point we'll need to remove some of these forces that are down here. I don't think we can keep pushing over here very aggressively. Although I'd certainly like to get onto Klagenfurt and sort of open the route to Vienna. But... for now, that's okay. Yeah, we can push a little bit towards Bolzano, which would be fantastic. That is, I think, the closest rail line that they actually have, and the only pretty much depot that they have that does still have some supply down here, which is sort of in the south of the main Alps. So it would be kind of interesting to try and take that. We're not going to be able to push through these mountains quickly, but slowly maybe, and that would be kind of nice. Yeah, other than that, in this theatre down here, we've established Trieste, that's good too. They will be getting some supplies from over here. But all in all, that just doesn't look... their lines are starting to look a little bit flimsy as well. They have some troops over here, which would probably not be able to break. But we can push them out of this, I think. And that does enable us to build up this area here around the Friuli region as more of an air hub. So I think that's nice. Over here, they are still maintaining... the Edge River, so let's see. Down here, nothing really happening in southern France. Oh, but these guys have, that's interesting. So they withdrew a little bit in the face of our position and went away a little bit, which is nice because that does enable us to take out these tanks. The nasty thing about that is they're going to be able to build and fortify that. And they're actually establishing a line here running all the way. That's interesting. That's very interesting. So they are starting to build a line. It's a very, very flimsy line. These are only security regiments and stuff. Sort of along this river line here, all the way to Paris. Oh, and look at that. They have withdrawn completely from the Seine. So they are now... obviously they are starting to build one... and consider this as one coherent front line. That's extremely interesting. That does allow us to push very aggressively also... into this region down here, link up everything, and hopefully isolate all of these Germans here. That is very, very nice. And we are even probably going to be able to capture Dijon, which is nice. Not just due to the mustard, but also, again, east-west traffic. That does cut it very nicely. And yeah, there's the area of Troyes, and of course Paris. But still, this is so nice. Any particularly strong units over here? Some of these units are looking really, really weak for now, so we probably can achieve some breakthroughs over here, although the Somme River is going to make that a little bit more difficult. So, ultimately, of course, we want to capture Antwerp. We probably want to capture a couple of these ports here as well, which we probably want to isolate before. But still, that's such a nice development. They are on the run here. Excuse me? Why on earth did we get these two hexes, and why did the AI deem it appropriate to send a repair guy over here? Well, I'm guessing there's a port, yes, but still, this is a bit weird. Excuse me. Okay, well, I guess it's the way it is, but still, that's peculiar. Okay, so yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up the air setup in between episodes, in a second, and you guys can join me after I've done that off camera. So here we are, back again. It did take a couple of hours for me to set this up, but we have got the Air 7 up now, and I did transfer quite a couple of planes towards England. So, let's look at the setup. Right. So, pretty easy down here. We're going to directly attack the 12th Panzer, sorry, 1st SS Panzer, just to weaken them a little bit before we bomb them. I think that's pretty much easy. We're doing the same thing over here with these infantry divisions with about 360 B-26s, so that should be alright. I'm hoping to reduce the supply setup over here a little bit. These are the only supply depots sort of south of the Alps that the Axis actually has got over here. So hopefully just reducing that would be helpful. And likewise, getting some naval interdictions here to basically cut off these two ports. I think maybe that is going to be useful. I don't know. Strategically, we are bombing Romania, the oil fields there. We are also attacking sites, Mazburg, Zwickau, Jena, the area down here with synthetic fuel refineries, rendering a little bit of air support over the Kassel, Paderborn area. Bomber Command is striking the Ruhr, so that's not a big surprise. Now we've got a couple of air superiority missions here, and some ground attacks here by 2nd Tactical Air Force. These guys are trying to increase interdiction, because ultimately we want to drive into Belgium a little bit. Whereas the 9th Air Force, these guys are trying to strike some more direct targets here, sort of in the vicinity here. Yeah, and that should be alright. So, without further ado, let's see how the air directive here is going to play out. I don't think we are actually doing something very crazy over here, although I'm very much going to push forward against the Germans here on the land side, especially as there are a lot of forces that might be looking a little bit unhinged. Let's see how well we can exploit that, but I'm very confident that in June 1944 here, we can strike the Germans very hard. So I would be loving to really reduce their numbers even more. I mean, even so, we have pretty much reduced a lot of their divisions already in these pockets. I mean, these were 3 divisions up there in the first pocket. We've got another 2 divisions down here. There are at least 2 more divisions down here in the south. So I think that's pretty much alright. So yeah, let's actually briefly look at the air setup over here. Anything that does stand out. Bomber Command losing 30 planes as usual against pretty much no Germans, but doing some damage here, so I guess that's fine. Lots of heavy industry damage, synthetic fuel refinery damage, that's good to see at Bur. Yeah, and then at Carmen 21, it's okay. It's not a big deal. Right, couple of planes lost here, not a big deal. 8th Air Force, you guys are actually losing surprisingly many planes here comparing to the Germans. You usually don't take that much losses. Then again, we were interdicting here against very heavy flak, so I guess it's sort of understandable. 15th Air Force, you guys did pretty much not lose anything. Did you damage anything though? Yeah, just very marginal damage here. I guess it's okay. We didn't really expect it to do much there, but I guess it's fine. Right, so let's start down here, I think, in Italy. So we pretty much want to clear out these infantry divisions here, of course, simply because they are there. They are pretty strong, though. They have a 12-point defensive value here. So even if we attack with all of you guys, that just might work out. There is no tank division over here, so I think it's going to be fine to just try it that way. Do you want to use the poles? Yeah, I think the poles would be lovely to use because they can't really get anywhere anyway. So let's just attack here with everyone. That is just barely 2-to-1 ratio, but that does get rid of 12,000 Germans. So that's lovely. From the Panzer Corps from Army Group C. So that was directly attached to that. Interesting choice. But yeah, 12,000 Germans gone. 13,000 actually. So I don't mind that one bit. So that's pretty nice. Down here, now the setup is a little bit weird here, but I guess it's okay. Now we've got this territory here now. We are obviously going to build the airbase right away so that it does come online as soon as possible. Now speaking of the airbase, I think I would like to push these guys here back a little bit just so that we can get some breathing room. Same over here actually, and that might actually be more important. So if I moved you over there, that'd be pretty much alright, yeah. But you guys, we can get the Japanese to guard this. And I think it's going to be alright. And then just push out here with you guys. Okay, let's get the Italians into these hills. Dislodge that headquarter unit there. That's okay. Poles get onto that bit. We can move up the headquarter to, let's say there. And then what we could do potentially is do deliberate attack here. That should push you away, shouldn't it? Yeah, 30 to 1. Easy. Good. Let's pick the Japanese. Fine. Yeah, okay. And that should mean that you can now build up that airbase down there. So that's good. That's good. I like it so far. Right. Ideally, we'd want to push these guys back as well so that we have some rail connection here. And I think that's going to be alright. Might be useful to disrupt this rail line, but then again, it just doesn't run down here actually anymore. So these guys are actually disconnected from the rail setup. So I think that's going to be alright. How would you feel about attacking here? That should be more than enough. Okay, let's do it. Yeah, good. Pushing them back kind of easily as well. Very nice. So we've pushed them out a little bit. I think that's pretty alright. Good. You guys, Special Forces, you know what? Let's actually get you into that town there. You are mountain troops after all, so that's fine. You guys are alright over here. We could attack there, just into the mountains. That doesn't really sound like a good idea. So I think that's going to be alright. Now what we can do over here is at least start to push you away. So let's do that attack. Losing some men here in the progress, but we are making some progress on our side as well. So I think that's going to be alright. And if I could push you back as well, that would be pretty fantastic. Yeah, losing 100 men there. It's not nothing. Let's get the Poles into that hex there, and that should be alright. Any other unit from that side? No, so that's okay. That does mean you can build up this airbase. Good and dandy. I don't think we're going to attack any of these guys here. They seem to have just way too strong fortifications, so yeah, pretty much that's a no. What I do want to do though is push up towards at least Bolzano, if at all possible. Right, so let's actually push you guys up into these hexes there. That's fine. Can you guys get anywhere over here? You could get over there, and you could get over here. Okay, yeah, let's switch you out. So you're going to get there, you're going to get there, fine. Yeah, and that does mean we are now threatening their supply line here from Bolzano, which I think is going to be very, very nice, because it's going to be very difficult for them to source supplies from Dobaccio or even Innsbruck all the way through the Alps. So yeah, if we could get Bolzano, that'd be nice. I don't think we are gonna, but they have to withdraw now. So yeah, I think that's good enough there. Right. Anything else that we want to do down here? Well, potentially we could push you forward. The tanks could get over here, but again, there's no point doing that. We could get over here, and that would get rid of this headquarter unit here, which in and of itself is nice-ish. But again, it just doesn't do that much for us. It's unhinging their line a little bit. And we should actually be getting this hex, but yeah, this rail line just really isn't worth it. On the other hand, I'm hoping that these guys are going to withdraw a little bit. They must feel threatened if we are starting to push on Klagenfurt here. So I think that's going to be alright, yeah. Good. We can keep down here, I think. That's going to be alright, yeah. And you guys pretty much do form a nice line down there. Nothing else that we do need to move up. Of course, we're going to build the rail line here. At the very least, connect this up. And ideally Trieste too. Speaking of Trieste, I would love to push down here, cut off this infantry division there. But just for the moment, I don't think that's viable at all. Right, let's look at the situation in France. Everything down here is fine. So basically, we should only get rid of this tank division here now. Now, these guys... Oh, and you are starting to lose supplies. Yeah. The supply situation is starting to become a little bit difficult here. So let's actually, for a second here, just check on how far we can build up this rail line here. So I'm guessing it's not going to get to the city of Valence, and certainly not towards Lyon this turn. You guys can potentially get some way into here. It's not really enough. And I think I want to build up to the north here rather than to the south. Both of these should be 10 hexes, so either way we go, should be pretty much the same. Although it's potentially a little bit more hilly up here. I don't even know that. Why can't you do anything? Oh, because you don't have any movement points. Okay, fine. So, yeah, it's slow going over here. And down here, likewise, we are going to get some way down up here, but not that far, so that is a bit of an issue. Right, let's see how far we can move up our infantry. Well, far enough so that you could actually do at least a hasty attack here. Anyone else, though? No. And I don't think there are that many motorized units or anything like that down here. No. So if we want to get rid of these guys up here, we pretty much do need to use our fast units and tanks. It is what it is, isn't it? Okay, so let's look at that. That's 16 points that they have got. Yeah, I think we do need to do a deliberate attack here with everyone. Yeah, but that is getting them. And it's 3.4 to 1, so to win we need to 2 to 1. So this is not really that strong. But Heavy Panzer Battalion, yeah. 14,000 Germans gone, 16,000 actually. 16,000 Germans gone, more than 200 tanks. Love it. The only thing is, it did cost us quite a bit of movement points. So that is not necessarily great, but it does open up our lines here a little bit. So that's fantastic and nice actually. So can I get you guys to move up, say, over here? Capture a couple of depots. That's lovely. We're never really getting the supplies from that, which is unfortunate. But I'm guessing it's fine. Okay, let's see just how far we can extend over here. Because I don't want to overextend our... No, sorry, that's not what I meant. I meant to move you guys up. You guys should stay in there. Right, and then we've got... That was the 30th Corps, so you guys... Can you get at least vaguely close to that? Okay, that's fine. So you guys are now sort of in this vicinity at least. That's alright. So you are guarding this. I doubt whether the Germans are going to make any push. So I think that's fine. How about you guys? How far can I move you up? Not that far, it turns out. Well, you can go a little bit further, can't you? Right, let's get you on the rail line here. I think that should block anyone from moving about. You guys can get over there. That's alright then. You get into here. Fine. You're also 13th Corps. Both of these Indian divisions, actually. So both of you move both of you up here. So yeah, that should guard us against any hard incursion, and that does give us an idea about where we can move our tanks. So the South Africans here. Now, I would like to capture some of these hexes. The Germans do use enormous rail traffic over here. You can see 5,200. That's not a lot, but 5,000. 14,000 over here. That's a lot. It's 30,000 over here. So they are using these rail lines like crazy. And disrupting that would certainly be very useful. Okay, let's move you guys up over here so that you can also just sort of cut that line there, which I think is going to be alright. You guys can try to watch this river at least. Move you guys all a little bit to the left here, which should be alright-ish. Okay, let's try to capture this rail line. Move up a little bit over there. That's only smaller unit. Can't really capture that much terrain. But we can at least get over here. So that's nice. That should also capture all of this terrain, shouldn't it? Huh, not quite. Yeah, but if we do move these tanks up... Well, probably we don't want to move through these axes there. But... move up over here should be fine. Yeah, that's looking good. A little bit exposed, but not too much. We also have the French here. You guys can get at least all the way over here. So that's alright. More French units. Let's try to capture all of this terrain here. Okay, you might be a little bit too exposed. Let's pull you back just a tiny scooch over here. Yeah, and then the 5th Corps. You're a little bit all over the place now, but we are going to shift you left after all. So I think going here is going to be the more promising one. So yeah, we are making some progress over here, and it's not, I mean, not this turn, but next turn I think we can link up our troops here, and that would certainly be a huge win over there. So that is fairly nice. Good. Let's see what we can do up here. So firstly, I think I want to use, let's say, the Czech Armored Corps, which of course is the weakest. Move you guys into here, just so with that we have some link over there. That should be okay. Right, and then we've got a lot of you guys, actually the 5th Corps. Okay, let's move you away into here. Good, and then we can use these two armies, these two divisions, get you over here and see whether we can do a deliberate attack here. This is 2-to-1 odds. I don't necessarily like that. Let's try to pull in someone from over here. Oh, and not the Canadians, just the 8th Corps, so that we can be slightly more. Yeah, that should be enough. They're surrendering 10-to-1. 10,000 Germans gone. I like it. Isn't this beautiful? I think it is. Right. Move all of you guys up. Do pick you guys. Not the Canadians though. Just one coherent organization that is attacking here. And that should be okay. Yeah, there we go. 15,000 Germans gone at the cost of 200 casualties for our own. So yeah, nice. I like it. Good. So since the Germans have freed up all of this terrain, what I want to do here is take the 1st British Corps. These guys are our dedicated armor busters. So these guys should be good at reducing enemy fortifications. And we're going to use that capability just due to the artillery and engineers that these guys have to maybe capture Cherbourg and then be able to source more supplies into the area that we'd be most interested in. So I think that's going to be alright. You guys are a little bit weaker, but I think you are going to be enough to guard this flank here against enemy incursion. So that's the 20th Corps over here. You, interestingly enough, have someone assigned to you over there, but I suppose that's fine. Let's get you guys into here, capture the city of Rouen, and advance further. That's nice. How about taking some of these Americans here? We don't have any French unit up here, do we? I don't think we do. All of the French units are in the south. Now, I would like to give them the honor of capturing Paris, but it just doesn't seem viable. So, yeah, that's a no. We can't link up quite. Not quite. But soon we are going to be able to do that. Also, we can't cut their rail line because we're just a little bit short of GN. Otherwise, we could have cut all of the east-west rail traffic there. So that's a little bit unfortunate, but I think we still have plenty of forces here. So, can we actually just pick the... Where are the Belgians? They must be somewhere around here. You know what, the Belgians, you guys do speak French, don't you? Do we want to attack down here? Yeah, you know what, let's try to get into the outskirts of Paris here at least. So that should be okay. Good, I like it actually. You guys are the 12th Corps. You can't quite make it down there, but I think I'm going to move you up into this vicinity anyway. Simply because I think you guys are probably going to be the closest infantry that we've got on this side. Let's get you on the other side of the River Seine. That should be alright. Good. So you guys are 12th Corps? Yes. Move your headquarters down here. You only got 3 units? No, you got 4. Oh yeah, that's the... Okay, that's fine. Let's get you there. Right, so we've got something to move on next turn. That's alright though. Good. First army, let's get into Rouen. Just you're commanding everything over there. That's okay. You guys are currently assigned to that. I don't think that's really where I want you to be. Nevertheless, let's see what we have and what we can use to punch through the German lines over here. We've got a lot of armor over here. We've got some Canadian infantry over here. Now, I would be tempted to try to push back these guys and at least do some smaller encirclements down here. It doesn't need to be gigantic. And there's a lot of combat delay on these hexes already. With that being said, we've got a tank division down here. Just how much stuff have you got in that division? 40 tigers. 24 panthers. 40 tigers is a lot. Okay, in that case, let's try to use our British corps here. At the very least you, 8th Corps. You guys are a little bit low on supply, but I think it's going to be alright. If we attack over here with you and let's say you guys got... So you guys, can you all do a hasty attack here? Yeah, that's nice. Pushing them back, not really doing that much more, but that's okay. Armored Division, you can't advance, but the Guards Brigade can. And that just might be enough to try to tackle them over here. Let's try to brush these guys away. We are. Even with a hasty attack. Let's get down here. So these guys are now properly encircled. I like it. You guys could actually get down here. That's interesting. Now, what have the Axis got over here? It's another infantry division, so they do look kind of a little bit weak over here with the Luftwaffe Field Division. Okay, let's use the Poles and the Dutch. And the Czech. Do attack against these guys. We're getting them to retreat. Lovely, I like it. Good. You and you, can you advance further? You can. Can you push away these guys? It's across a river, so yeah, no, that is going to be too much. That was a little bit too much. Right, let's see over here though. So, how strong are these guys? 4.9. It's a little bit too hard. 3.5. Okay, we might be able to push through there. Right, let's move the headquarters back a little bit. Let's get this infantry division in here. And let's attack with the infantry and you guys. And I'm guessing you as well. Hasty attack here. Enough to push them back. Good. Can we move into that? No. Where's the 2nd Canadian Armored Division? Over here. I think you will be able to push through. I think you will be. Right, okay, let's get... Ooh, this is awkward. Yeah, because of all of these zone of control issues. How about you guys? We just could try to push them back and maybe get a little bit of a broader corridor in here. But I don't think so. How about any of these? You guys are extremely fast. Okay, I do have some hopes over here to maybe do a little bit more even. Okay, let's get you down here. Let's do this attack. Yeah, pushing them back. Nice. And then we can take this American. How can he be so enormously fast, the 3rd Armored Division over here? That's really, really impressive. Actually. Right, where do we want to get you? Over here, I think, right? Encircle them? Yeah, sounds good. Nice. So 2 small pockets over here already. 2 divisions on the German side that we have captured that way. And let's move you here just so that these guys don't break out. Good. Can we double down on that and go for a hat trick here? Well, move the fast troops up a little bit. Attack here with a hasty attack. Push them back further. Good. The proper armored division can potentially go a little bit further. Yeah, you can. Not that much further, though. How about you guys? Can't make it into there. Unfortunate. Any other American unit? 17 movement points really can't make it down there. Not in time, at least. You guys could actually. So maybe what we're going to do first is take these two guys here. 3.1, that's not enough. Right, okay, you guys can get down here. That's okay. So let's take this British Armoured Brigade here and do another hasty attack here. Not to push them away. Let's see whether we have anything to fill that gap. You guys, unfortunately not. No. 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 Maybe? Yes. That is actually going to be enough. Lovely. So that's a Fallschirmjäger division, an infantry division, and a tank division. I like it. Nice. And you know what? Can't push into Paris down there. How about you guys? You can actually also strengthen your position up here. And you know what? Push back that headquarter. Let's just unbalance their lines as much as we can. I do like that idea. You guys can't push up any further? No. They're probably going to attack us down here, but I think we're going to be alright. So this is a proper armor division. You can make it all the way down here. You guys are pretty strong. I'm wondering whether we should attack this Fallschirmjäger just to pull more units through here. But I'm guessing it's a little bit silly, isn't it? Yeah, I think so. 7th Corps, you guys can get at least ready to clear up these guys. That should be okay. Can you move up any further? Yeah, you can. Good. Yeah, so we do have a defensive line there. That's pretty much appropriate, I think. Can we get you down here anywhere? Yeah, just not really useful. Yeah, it's a bit breakthrough, I think. 3 divisions down here. None over here that we've encircled, but still 3 divisions per turn. That's a huge loss for them. So I'm fairly confident here. So let's briefly look at that. I don't think we're going to do any further attack though. We do have you guys who can start to get ready to bunch up these tanks, although probably we don't want to use the Fallschirmjäger to do that. Can use the US armored group here. We've got the M8 at least. And a couple of Stuarts. 37mm gun. Good luck against these Tigers. Yeah, but other than that, I think we are fine. These Canadians are incredibly strong. But there's no point just running you against some German Fallschirmjägers just because we can. No, I think it's alright. These guys are incredibly strong. 3rd US armor, you guys, I do like you already. Now, do we want to cut that rail line though? Gatling Compiègne, where the peace treaty was signed between Germany and France. Yeah, I think so. Just how much are they? They're using this line to channel through 14,000 units of rail. Yeah, let's make it a little bit more difficult for them. We're losing some men here, and more importantly, getting some attrition and stuff. But if they can't use that, they again have to use this down here, which is already being taxed, and this, which is already at the capacity, and this, which is over capacity, and this. So yeah, I think that's a good idea to do that down there. Good, I like it. Nice. lots of repairs happening already on these rail lines here, which is fairly nice to see. Yeah, but we will need to connect up, especially to Paris, I think, because a lot of our pressure will be building up this entire front line here and then pushing towards Antwerp, because that is really one of the most important objectives. And first Corps here is going to get to Conten, get Cherbourg, get this town. I think it's alright. I like it. Good. So, let me know your thoughts down below. I'm going to move up a lot of units here in between episodes, or just before the next episode, including these tanks, including these various units here of the 3rd Army. I think we really do expand here fast enough. We don't really need a second landing. But do let me know whether you think we should be landing anywhere else. I mean, we could land down in southern France, doesn't really matter that much. There's always Denmark. Much harder coast to land on, but not completely out of the picture. What do you guys think? That being said, thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you around next time. Bye bye.